You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Welcome to Unstoppable Actors, everybody. We've got a really exciting episode for you today because we've got one of our students from the 10-week method acting modules with us who is going to be talking all about the incredible things she's achieved as an actress in a short space of time. She's relatively new, so she's what I would class as an early career actor. And I thought it'd be really good to get her on the podcast because it'd be really inspiring for you guys who are maybe just a couple of steps behind her or in a similar position, because I want to show you what is possible when you get committed. So welcome to the podcast, Chloe. It's so exciting to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
I guess we should start then by, well, firstly, just share how old you are, where in the world you're from, and just a tiny little bit about your background before you even got into acting.
So I am 19 years old and I'm a European actress. I'm from the Netherlands. And well, I've only recently gone into acting, really. It's not even been a year for me since I started training. And I think it's almost been like 6 months since I actually started applying for roles and really started getting into acting.
That's incredible. So you are literally super fresh in the industry. So tell us then some of the things that you've achieved so far with your acting. Of course, it's, we've got to be realistic. It's not going to be things like TV roles, guest lead roles in TV. That's just not realistic in a 6-month time period. So I want to manage people's expectations who are listening to this, but I also want to inspire them and show them what's possible for them. So it's been a year since you really got into the training, or started training, sorry. And it's 6 months since you've started being more proactive with the business side of things. So what things have you achieved in that 6-month period?
So the biggest thing that I've achieved, well, the thing that I'm most proud of is it's a supporting role in a professional short film. And I auditioned for that for the lead role. But the feedback I got was amazing. And I absolutely didn't mind that I didn't get the main character, but I'm still so proud that I actually got to play in a movie like that, because I never expected it to be that fast into my career that I would already be in something professional, except for like being a background character. I mean, I've done that as well, and I'm also really proud of the opportunities that I got for those. And yeah, next to that, I also had student films that I've been in.
That's brilliant. And so have you been auditioning quite regularly as well then?
Yeah. I set out like 2 or 3 days a week minimum to look for castings and apply for them and audition for them. And well, yeah, it's just you really see that because I'm more proactive, more people respond, and I also get more questions like, is it okay if we book you for another thing that we think you would be fit for? Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that so much. So, and I think this is, a realistic way to get started with your acting career. As you know, I've coached actors for it'll be 14 years this year. And this is literally how everyone gets started. So all those students of mine who've then gone on to get roles on TV soaps or on Netflix or Amazon Prime or wherever, they've started off doing exactly what you're doing, which is started off in student films because you need to get that exposure to being on film. You need to get that experience. Then they've started building up from there once they've got more confidence, more experience and doing more professional shoots. But they've also had that proactive mindset like you, where they constantly apply for things and train at the same time. So this is really promising for you, Chloe, and for everyone else who's listening. So roughly in this 6-month period, how many auditions would you say you've roughly had?
I think I've done like about 20 auditions, I feel like. And yeah, I mean, for some casting, you just I just send in my headshots and they're like, oh yeah, but you don't really look like what we're looking for, so maybe sometime else or yeah. And yeah, the ones that actually get like, okay, this is the script. Those are about 20 so far.
That's fantastic. So that's working out, if we want to quantify this, that's working out around 3.5 auditions a month, which is, just short of one a week. That's really good. That is incredible. And what I really love what you said earlier as well is that you applied for the lead role, but you didn't get that, which is not a problem because you got cast in the supporting role, which is fantastic. Like, this is what can happen when you're putting yourself out there, because I always talk about we need 50% training, 50% business of acting, and you are literally doing that. And that's why these opportunities are being presented to you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's still a bit surreal to me. Even yeah, just saying the number 20, it's like, no, that can't be right. That's way too much. I feel like it should have been less, but yeah, it feels amazing. So
I know people can't see Chloe right now, but if they could, she's got a big smile on her face. So, do you live with your parents?
yeah, I do.
And how do they feel about all of this? Like, you've literally gone from 0 to 60.
Well, when I first told my parents about it, well, my dad, he was a bit skeptical. He was like, "Are you sure? Because it's a tough business to break into." I mean, a lot of people from my family said that. And I was like, "Yeah, but it's the only thing that brings me so much joy. So I really want to get into it." And well, my mom was like, "Yeah, I know where you're getting from." I feel like she supported me the most, along with my sister. My sister was, I mean, she even went with me to an audition simply because yeah, I wasn't scared to go alone, but it was more like I had to drive for like 30 minutes and just to help me calm my nerves. She went with me, which was also funny because the the audition I was doing was for I was playing someone who had autism and she has autism. So I was like, yeah, this is my example. This is where I took a bit of inspiration from.
Oh, you're a
And
true method actor.
yeah, yeah, and it was she was really happy for me. And even she said like, well, she made this joke in front of everyone that later she was like, oh my God, why did I do that? But she said could have been more artistic. And I was like, everyone in the room was laughing at it. It was so funny. And she made me feel even more comfortable to just do it again because we got 2 takes and they were like, okay, the first take, amazing. Let's do this in the second one. And yeah, I mean,
It sounds like it was such an incredible experience. Was that one of your first auditions?
yeah, no, that was, I mean, I think that was the beginning of this year
Oh, so
or
January.
yeah, somewhere along that. And I got the feedback from them. Like one of the girls was like, "Oh my God, I got goosebumps all over my arm," and I was like, "That is
Oh,
the biggest
wow.
compliment." Yeah,
That is incredible. Right. So I spoke about this in an episode, maybe 2 episodes ago. I forgot what it's called actually. Like, oh, how to know if your characters are hitting the spot. That's what it was. And that is one of the things that I say in there is like if your audience, which obviously in an audition, your audience is the panel, if they're saying things to you like, oh, how did you learn all those lines? Well, then that's feedback that you've not really been in character. But if they're saying things like what you heard, which is that was incredible, I got goosebumps, your character has hit the spot, you were living through it. So I am so proud of you for that. That is truly incredible. Obviously, this audition then has been whilst you've been training at Standby as well, and you've been training on the 10-week method acting modules. And I want to know, how do you feel each week during and after your classes?
I always get into the class basically with the emotions that I had from during the day, but as soon as we've like get into it, like relaxation, and then just my whole mood changes. I get so much happier because just the people around me, it's amazing. I mean, I even made friends with most of them from last module. We still talk, even though last module has now ended, and yeah, it's just great. During the class, I get a lot of energy, and even afterwards, I still feel the energy buzzing off of me, and yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
Chloe's got the biggest smile on her face again because I know you can't see her. Well, I'm exactly the same after the classes. I find it hard to get to sleep straight away because I'm buzzing so much.
Yeah,
That's
same.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So I love that, this is how it's making you feel because, of course, my job is to help guide you into this career. And I absolutely love training you. So, what do you feel then have been your biggest improvements that you've seen since you've trained on the 10-week modules? So, just for our listeners, Chloe has completed two 10-week method acting modules. But yeah, what do you feel like the biggest improvement is that you've seen so far?
The biggest, definitely my confidence. Definitely. My first person I trained with was you, and you saw how my first audition went. It was
Can we tell
so
our audience about that?
well, the first piece that I brought was a Nike commercial that it was full of stress, overthinking, etc. It was, yeah, I couldn't even form the first sentence normally, and I was already standing there shaking, like, oh my God, I'm doing this wrong. What is she gonna think of me? And right now, it's like I don't get those nerves anymore. I mean, I still feel nervous if I'm doing an audition, but I now know that I can do a step out or I can just do relaxation, and that will help me just become better at it. And yeah, I mean, even right now, not necessarily in the auditioning part, it's at first I didn't want to go up to people on set. It's like, okay, yeah, but what if they don't want to talk to me? But right now, I've also gotten the confidence to just go to them, start a conversation. The last set I was on, I even made a friend. We exchanged socials, and I mean, it's just amazing to see that how much confidence I've gotten just from training here, how much confidence in my acting and in myself as a person.
And also getting that incredible feedback. I mean, there's so many things to pick up on
Yeah.
there. That incredible feedback where someone has told you in an audition that you've given them goosebumps. The fact that you're super confident, I think it's a big step to go and introduce yourself to other people on set, because what we can do is put them on pedestals and think, oh, they're probably more experienced than me. What have I got to offer them? So even just to go and introduce yourself is incredible. Sorry, my microphone has just got caught around one of my cat's legs. So if you can hear a bit of rustling, that's what it is. Um, and also as well, the fact that you're putting yourself out there and those nerves have disappeared is just testament to the method and to your commitment to what you're doing as well, which I absolutely love. There's just so many incredible things. And I always say this to you in the classes, but it's like you're a completely different person.
It does feel that way sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's just amazing to be able to see that transformation. One thing I want to bring up is obviously, you're not in the UK where I am, you're in Europe. And so many people are a little bit cautious about online training because they just have this idea that in person is better and that is the be all and that is the end all. And if you're not doing in person, you can't improve, which is crazy because we're hearing right now that you are a living testament to how you're improving through online training. So if anyone was a little bit unsure about online training, what would you say to them? And can you share what it's been like to train online?
Well, first off, I want to say the only training I've had has been online. I mean, I've had drama class in school for like 1 year, but for the rest, it's only been online training. And I know it might sound like it's weird, but it really challenges your imagination a lot more. And especially because I do most of my classes either in my bedroom or downstairs in the living room. If I do it in my bedroom, I have not a lot of space to work with, but it challenges you to really make that space work because yeah, it's also I feel like if you're in person, you have a big room to do it. And of course you can actively play with others and touch them. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I know what you mean. Like if there's a hugging scene and you need to hug them or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But in if you're doing it online, it challenges you more to just be focused and stay in the scene because as you go on, you learn like we'll just do whatever feels comfortable, what feels natural in the scene. And yeah, yeah. I mean, I've noticed that when I do it online, I have to be more active with my imagination. It's like I have to picture what I'm wearing, where I'm at, and completely. immerse into that just so I can feel like, okay, I'm playing this character right here, right now, instead of just being like, okay, I'm in my room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally hear you because one of our other students, he said, you know, if I can create Hamlet's world in my bedroom, I can create Hamlet's world anywhere.
yeah, that's
And and I agree with you. It challenges your imagination in different ways and makes you more focused and more disciplined. And that is a massive, unique selling point. And so I'm not surprised that so early on in your career, you are getting feedback that you're giving people goosebumps because your discipline, your focus skills, your imagination are being trained and challenged more than when we're in person. Because when we're in person, we can get lazy, can't we? And we'll not create the reality of where the character is. We'll not connect to those things. But online makes you do that because the alternative is, oh, I'm in my bedroom.
yeah. I feel like if I would train in person, if my first training was in person, I would have had the lack of imagination because I was simply like, okay, I'm playing with someone else right now. I'm just focusing on me and them and not really on what is supposed to surround me.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. What made you even want to become an actress in the first place?
well, ever since I was little, I mean, I've always been, I've always wanted to do something in the entertainment industry. When I was very young, I always wanted to be a singer, but I can't sing. I know I should, if I wanted to, I could train for that. When I was like 8 or 9, I already knew, like, okay, yeah, but acting it looks amazing. I want to be able to do that because you get to be so many different persons and not just one person your whole life. And I think that's the main reason that I wanted to, because it gives you a lot of freedom to not just be one person, but to be whoever you want to be. And over the years, it's been, yeah, I've also gotten the one to inspire other people to be like, if I can do it, you can do it, and not necessarily be an example for someone, but inspire them to be who they really want to be.
Oh, I love that so much because my mission, as you probably know, if you know, if you listen to any of the episodes, is I want to heal the world one audience member at a time. And I know it sounds crazy and it is a big mission. And will I heal the entire world in my lifetime? Probably not. But I can have a little impact. And the fact that you're now inspiring others to be whoever they want to be just makes me so happy because I really believe what the actor Alan Rickman said, which is as actors, we are agents of change. Like we literally can change the world and we can make it a better place. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. And I
Yeah,
also love what you said about, you know, you wanted to play, you like being other people. And I think that's what so many actors love. And Robert De Niro said that you get to play other people without the consequences of actually living their life. And I just love that so much. So, you know, you can play, we can tap into that morbid curiosity of like, what is it like to be a serial killer, but not actually be a serial killer and, you know, use our imagination and understand what their world is like. And at the same time, we could then play the queen or a president or a prime minister or whoever and was you know it's so exciting, isn't it? So my next question then is were you scared to get started?
before I actually even considered training, I was always like, I'm a natural, I got this. But I think most actors have that. They think like, oh, it's so easy. Let me just do an audition and I'll get it. And my first audition I did, it was like, have you ever trained?
Is
That
that
was
what
the
they said
first
to you?
question. That was the first question I got. And I was like, no. And imagine that was about 2 years ago. No, not two, well, about 2 years ago. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I didn't. And I was so scared. And she was like, maybe you should get some training and then reapply next year because I wasn't feeling it. And well, that was really hard for me to hear. But it was also like, okay, but now I know that I need training and I know that if I have it, I can become better and I can become the actress that I want to be. And negative feedback isn't always like, I know it's not to bring me down. and I've turned it into something that will motivate me. If someone's like, yeah, but I wasn't feeling it, then I'm gonna try and be better the next time. So they do feel something. It's been really motivating. I wasn't scared to start with it. I mean, I wasn't nervous, but I've always been like, okay, if I really want to do that, I have to get started right now because otherwise I'm just gonna keep putting it off and I'll end up with a life that I didn't really want in the first place.
Oh, that's deep. I love it. Success loves speed. That is one of my new favorite mantras. I have it written on my mirror, success loves speed. And what that means is you just got to take action now. Go all in, despite feeling scared, despite feeling nervous, despite not even knowing what's going to happen. And, you're taking a risk entering into the acting industry. But if you don't try, you never know. And like you said, you'll end up living the life that you didn't want, a second class life compared to the first class life that you could have. And I think it's just so obvious that, even though you're so early on in your career, actually your life has changed, hasn't it? What would your life be like now if you weren't training and you weren't auditioning?
If I wasn't training, then either I would still be working 40 hours a week, just the basic 9 to 5, or I would be in college studying something that is like it would be fine, but I wouldn't really want to do it. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that I took this chance because I really can't see myself working every single day in a 9 to 5 in an office. I mean, that's just not for me.
Yeah. And I just think what you've done there is you've gone in with blind faith, which you have to do that because there's no guarantees. And I think a lot of people will tell you that to scare you out of the acting industry and go, oh, it's a tough industry. There's no guarantees. Are you sure you want to do this? Because they're coming from a place of fear. But you have to go, well, yeah, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge there's no guarantees and I'm going to go in anyway. Because the opposite is, like you said, living an unfulfilling, mundane life that doesn't bring you true happiness. So I love that you've gone in with blind faith. Can you describe a typical class then in the 10-week method acting modules from your experience?
Yeah. So we always start with an hour of relaxation, just to, for me, it's really helpful to just clear my mind and get into a really focused zone because during the day I have so many distractions and so many emotions, and I can basically get rid of most of those distractions during the relaxation. And after that, we have, I'm not quite sure what it's called, but we tune into what every sound around us.
The concentration exercise.
Exactly. And and then we have the I always forget the names of the exercises, but I know what to do. So
It's okay, it's the sense memory.
exactly. And well, at first I always had trouble with the sense memory, but it was always like, okay, what am I even looking for? What am I doing? And well, with the feedback, it really helps. Yeah, it makes me be like, okay, now I know what I need to focus on. The biggest thing I needed to focus on was the weight because I always had quite light objects. So I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really have any weight. And so it was really hard for me to connect to that. But I do feel like I've gotten better at that.
Absolutely. And can I just jump in for anyone who's like, what is sense memory? You're basically like, this is basically a little mini method acting lesson right here in this podcast, but we're always working with the question, how do I create truth when everything around me is fake? Um, and so I give you an object, you study it, and then we take it away and we have to recreate that object as if it's back in your hands, don't we? And it is challenging. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've gotten better at the way I'm holding it. The first thing I focus on is how am I holding my hand? So I know how to recreate it. Because after that, some things come more easily if you know how you're holding it. After the sense memory, well, it depends on which module you're taking. The last module I was in was tackling the play, and we would go into the scenes. And yeah, it also depends on which class you're in. The first few lessons, you're rehearsing the scenes with your script, trying to get it flowing with your scene partners. And yeah, the last class is always an evaluation on how how it went, how it's going, and you do the full play. And last class, it was amazing. I even before the class, just the group was like, okay, good luck, everyone. We got this. We can do this. We sent all inspiring notes, voice notes into the group. We had to do a Scouse accent for the play, and we sent those voice notes in the Scouse accent, and it was so much fun to hear. And yeah, it gives it a great vibe. It gives so much energy, and even after the class, everyone was like, "We did this. We got it. I'm so proud of y'all." And yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, say when we're rehearsing the play, we're not just going through it, like getting up on its feet and then running a scene and that's it. We're then figuring out like what problems have we got as actors? Where are
Yeah.
our weaknesses in the scene? Okay, what exercise do we need to overcome that and strengthen it? But yeah, just little things like that, like the WhatsApp group where I said, okay, this week your prep work part of it is going to be create a WhatsApp group. You've got to send voice notes in it, in character, in the accent, like just little things like that make the biggest difference, don't they? Like you've said, it was, so much fun. And I could see as your coach that everybody had bonded much more, which meant you were all more relaxed with each other as well, and you were taking more risks with the characters, even online. And it was, like I said to you at the end of the class, it was the best run you'd all ever done. It was fantastic. So yeah, just little tweaks like that. I think it's so important that we remember why we pay to train, because we can't always see what needs changing ourselves, can we? If someone wanted to train on the 10-week method acting modules then, but they were just like, I just need a little bit more reassurance, what would you say to them?
Well, I definitely do think it's worth it. I mean, I've done two trainings right now, and just the changes you see not only in yourself but also in the people you're working with. It's amazing. I mean, I've seen for me, it's how I went from being really scared to just even film a self-tape to being like, okay, I'm confident in an in-person audition. And also just the group that you're working in. For me, it was amazing. As I've said before, I've become friends with one of the girls in the group. I call her my acting bestie. I don't even know if she knows that, but I whenever I talk to my mom about the classes because I'm always so hyped and I need to tell someone, I tell her, yeah, my acting bestie, and she immediately knows who I'm talking about. And it's yeah.
Have your mum and dad seen a big change in you then as well? I mean, obviously they don't see the classes, but they see you before and after them. And yeah, have they seen a big change in you as a person or?
Yeah, my mom says like, yeah, it's so much clearer that you really want to do this, especially because when I'm finished with class, I'm coming downstairs and I'm just ginormous smile on my face, and she's like, yeah, I know you want to do this, and I'm fully supporting you in it, and it's so amazing to hear that. It's
And
yeah.
how do your parents feel about you training with someone in the UK? Do they find that a bit strange or are they quite like, oh, this is new, it's good?
No, they did question it. Especially my dad, who was like, "Aren't you sure you want to just do in-person classes?" And I was like, "No, I feel really good training with you because it really challenges me a lot more, and I feel like that might be better for me than just doing an in-person one." And when I say that, they're like, "Okay, yeah. I mean, we trust you. If you want to do that, just go for it, and we'll see how it works out."
I
Yeah.
love this because these are obviously the conversations that we don't have in class. So I have no idea what goes on in your personal life. And that's incredible. I love that I love that they've challenged you on it. And I love that you've then gone, no, this is what I want to do. And, it's just a testament to how visionary you are. You've got a clear vision for your acting career. And I would love other people listening to this to take that away from this as well as all the other incredible things you've said is, but you've got to have a clear vision as well. And you clearly do. And that's why, you're getting these small pieces of success, which are then going to eventually build and compound to something even bigger. But these smaller versions of success are all part of the journey, aren't they? They're all part of the process.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Chloe, it has been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. And I know that this is just going to be so inspiring for so many people listening who are maybe in a similar position to yourself, where they're so early on or they've not even got started. And of course, I am always big on supporting my students. So, where can people find you where they can continue to follow your journey with your acting, like maybe on socials or somewhere else where you'd be happy for them to keep following your journey?
So I think the best place to follow me will be on Instagram. And my handle is chloe.heathers. And yeah, I mean, I'm still starting up with my socials, so be aware that it may not have any content yet, but it's coming. It's definitely getting there.
I love that. I love that you're so honest about that. It's not meant to be full of everything so early on, is it? And of course, just one last thing to share as well is you get the Business of Acting boot camp for the 10 weeks that you train on the 10-week method acting modules. Has that been helpful for you as well?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I had a showcase during the first time I did the first module, and I completed the boot camp before that, and I felt way more prepared to just sell myself as an actress. And yeah, I think if I hadn't completed it beforehand, I would just be there like, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I've done the bare minimum, but because I did the boot camp, I knew like, okay, I know what my selling points are. I know how I can approach people, how I can make them interested in me by and also me interested in them, you know? I knew what I needed to do to just get out there and be the best actress that I could be at the moment. So
Oh, I love that. That's so exciting. I love that and I love that you've got down and you've completed the boot camp as well. I mean, I talk about this all the time in the classes, but even though I wrote the course and created it, I take it over and over again myself as well, because sometimes there's things you can forget. And then you go back through it and you're reminded, oh gosh, yeah, remember this thing. And you always hear something different every time you do it. So I love that you've really just rolled your sleeves up and got into that as well. That's incredible. I'm so proud of you. I love coaching you, and I'm so excited for where your acting career is going to go. I do think if you keep working in this focus way, that you will achieve whatever it is that you are setting out to achieve. So I'm really, really excited to keep following your journey as well. So thank you very much for coming on the Unstoppable Actors podcast, Chloe. It's been so fabulous talking to you. And if anyone does want to audition for the 10-week method acting modules, we've got auditions on Sunday the 30th of March, and then the recalls are Saturday the 30th of March, and then the recalls are Sunday the 31st of March. So yeah, the link is underneath the episode, and also we've linked to Chloe's Instagram as well underneath the link, so you can go and follow her there. So thank you so much, Chloe.
thank you for having me.
You are welcome. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.